Hello people! You know when you compare yourself to others and you feel like you are not doing as good as them and you start feeling bad and you feel less worthy? In this video I'm going to talk about a mindset change that might give a different perspective and possibly make you feel better. And the ideas that I'm going to talk about are taken from this book. I bet you've heard about it, very popular. Think about in school. We all have friends that are supportive and that are happy for us when we do well. And these people realize that their grades are independent of yours, so that when you get good grades, they're not afraid and feel threatened that you're going to take their place. And then there are those that does not share, that when you do well, they become quiet. Have you had that experience? Well, the mentality of the latter is one of scarcity. They believe that if you do well, that they will automatically, comparatively do bad and they will feel bad. They have a win-lose perspective. If you win, they lose. And when you do fail at something, this type of person secretly enjoys it because they know that comparatively they are doing better. But then we have the supportive type, and they have the abundance mindset. They think win-win in the exact same situations. And if you get the best grades, they're just going to be happy for you. They have no reason to be jealous. They realize that their grades are completely independent of yours. They don't lose anything by being happy for you, and they're not in that fictitious competition. The results are independent of each other, and it makes no sense making comparisons. And if you get the best grades, they're going to be happy for you. They don't lose anything by being happy for you. You can both win, so they're not in this fictitious competition. In this situation, the results are independent of each other, so it makes no sense making comparisons. Another type of comparison that comes to mind in the same neighborhood is how bad Instagram influencers makes us feel. At least how much talk it is about it in media. I think that's an irrational and unrealistic comparison to make in the context of our normal daily lives. And if I was to compare my appearance to an Instagram model's, then I think it's just as rational to compare my bank account to Elon Musk's. Both of these situations are completely independent of me. And I think that's also a part of the scarcity mentality, that there's always a competition. And if they do well, then I do bad. So when you see Elon with a pile of cash and you see an Instagram model with the hardest abs, that almost rhymes. Then you feel bad about yourself because if they do well, then surely it must mean that you do worse. Well, I guess if you compare directly, it's true, but that's the problem. They're pretty much insignificant in your life. We're not in the same context, and there makes no sense comparing us two together. And with that mindset, we don't want the best for others, which is a shame because we should want others to do well. And to take the example, if I buy Tesla stocks and Elon do well, we can get rich together. I don't have to be jealous. And before I go any further, I just want to say that these are my reflections on these principles, and they might be wrong. They might not make sense to you. And that's fine. Just my opinion. It's clearly not productive to always have the abundance mentality, but knowing which one to keep in mind can be helpful. Let's say if you're competing in a sporting competition, then it's obviously best to have the scarcity mentality because the other guy wins, you lose. And if you're in a job interview, you don't want the other interviewees to get the job. But actually, in a situation like that, like take me for example, I'm trying to work as a filmmaker. There is something unappealing with approaching potential clients with the scarcity mentality. Maybe I'll do too much to please them and come across like I really need them, and I don't know, that's not the way you want to come across. And if they think my price is too high, then it's way more likely that I'm gonna accept a price that is way lower than what I think I'm worth. But if I approach them with an abundance mentality and think to myself that there are millions of potential clients out there, so I don't need these people, then I'm gonna be way more relaxed, which is in itself a positive thing, and it's gonna make everything more comfortable for all of us. And if they think my price is too high, then maybe I'll lower the price, and maybe not. I'll have a more objective approach, and if I decide to stick with it, they're gonna see that I'm confident in my skills and I know what I'm worth. Then they're gonna think that, okay, this guy seems confident, and that's likely because he's competent. Yeah, there are many situations where it's a simple choice, where having one mentality over the other will influence how you go about things and how successful you can become. And it's the same thing with YouTube. If I see other people creating the same content like me, you know, super funny, engaging, creative, wonderful, you know, visually, like, and I get disappointed and jealous because they do well and get all the attention, that's gonna do nothing good for anyone. All that's gonna do is to make me feel bad. While in reality, there is literally billions of people watching videos here. And if some of those people are watching content similar to mine, then there's just a good chance that they are gonna find my content interesting as well. And being positive and supporting others and realizing that there are plenty for all of us out there, it's so much better for everyone. And that's gonna lead to like fruitful relationships instead of enemies. So to change our mentality, we're gonna have to zoom out in that situation when we feel like we're in a perspective of scarcity and win-lose. So when jealousy sneaks up, just take a moment and try to consider the situation. If it's just your mindset that it's the root to this bad feeling and not the situation itself, try to take that sneaky feeling of jealousy and that you're not good enough and, you know, strangle it to death. Eloquent as always. I don't need a blooper reel. I can just have blooper be my content.